As the TV chef Emeril used to say when he wanted to kick things up a notch, bam! The Fed's balance sheet tops $5 trillion for the first time. We're going to come back to that later. And so on to the goldsilver.com news page here, the main page. The gold-silver ratio is falling. I expect, though, that you are going to see levels higher than the 124 when the panic starts. I mean, right now, the markets are rallying, so we've had this rebound in the market, and that has caused gold and silver not to, I mean, there's shortages that have developed. There is a huge demand right now. If you want to take a look at any of that, if you missed yesterday's update, there's an interview with Alex Daly. I made him president of goldsilver.com back in 2015. And there's an interview with him. He really understands the workings of the precious metals industry. And so he was explaining some of the supply demand. There's about a 5-minute interview with him. So you should watch that if you want to understand what's going on right now. I don't understand actually why gold and silver are still so cheap, but the physical price has diverged from the spot price. That will continue, and there's going to be bigger shortages coming. The markets are rallying right now. Eventually they're going to roll over and continue the crash. When the panic really happens, you're going to see people rush into gold first, and this ratio will go way up past the peak that it was at like 124. It may go to 150. On the radar, Ben Rickert says, shocking, S&P/ASX 200, a REIT. This index tracks the performance of Australian real estate investment trusts and mortgages, REITs. So that stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. Skydiving with no parachute. The 30-year Aussie real estate bubble has popped. Thank you, Ben. I'm going to release a couple of videos within the next couple of days, and one of them I'm going to read from a section of The Great Gold and Silver Rush of the 21st Century, the book that I've been working on for the last several years, and it was on the Australian real estate bubble, and since it's already popping, I'm just cutting that from the book, and I'll release it as a video upcoming. It was just a couple pages of the book. So, chart of the day. Bam! There it is. And you know, I'm sorry if I smile or laugh at things like this because this is bad news. This is tragic, what is going on. However, I've been, I read Ben Bernanke's paper called Deflation, Making Sure It Doesn't Happen Here, back in 2002. And that's when I could see what was coming. Since 2002, I've been able to see what was coming. I wrote my book around that paper and made all of the predictions. But this they've added $1.3 trillion in just the last week. So the emergency currency creation is on. The race to debase the currency is on. I want to welcome the 1,814 new subscribers. Just remember, hit that subscription bell, and then viewer feedback. This is from yesterday's episode, or yesterday's video. Gold and silver becoming unobtainium and unobtainium. Like I said, Alex Daly, I interviewed him in there. So if you want to understand what's going on in the markets, listen to that. But Troy BR79, Mike, do you think monetary demand will make up for the massive loss in industrial demand when it comes to silver? The short answer is yes. For the long answer, take a look at the video that we released earlier today titled 12 times more silver than you paid for? ? And you'll get the details of why silver will massively outperform and make up for the losses that it has in industrial demand. And by the way, there's a dropout in the sound where I'm talking about the supply. And I say approximately 60% of supply. So it's 60% is what I'm saying. Approximately 60% of the supply. So go watch that video from earlier today. Simon Potter, I'm not getting a single notification from YouTube right now. Well, you know what? This happened to Chris. I've been working a lot more closely with Chris Martenson lately. And Chris is a friend going back for a long time. And he started talking about the current global health problem that we're having. I'll frame it that way. Because the YouTube, their algorithms and their crawlers seem to be looking at what the content is and censoring stuff that has to do with the C word and the V word when it comes to the global health problem, the GHP. And they took his Wikipedia page down. They have been unsubscribing people, and so they're censoring it, basically. There's content that they don't want out there, so they sort of lower the level of views by unsubscribing people and undoing the notification bell. So for everybody watching, just go and check your subscription, resubscribe, hit that notification bell again. Thank you. Adrian York, everyone send Joe Rogan a message on his website so that he can bring on Mike. It would be a podcast worth gold. This is actually, I would like this. This is a good idea because it would really expand the reach. And episode 7 is probably the most pertinent to what's going on right now. So that would be a great episode to send to him. But any of the episodes of Hidden Secrets of Money are also great. Sam Scott says, Mike Maloney gets so irritated when currency is referred to as money. Yes, I do, Sam. And there's a reason for that. When I wrote my book, and that came out, and it became the best-selling book on precious metals. Still, in the book, I started the book referring to currency as money because it would be shocking to just start going through there and somebody's saying the currency supply and the currency in your wallet. So I started referring to it as money. Then I defined the difference between currency and money. And let them know that from then on, I would be referring to any debt-based fiat currency as currency, and I will be referring to money, which has to store value, gold and silver, as money. And you know what? I really expected that the commentators and newsletter writers in my sector that comment on the economy, on precious metals, on monetary history, on economics. I just expected that they would sort of pick this up and run with it, but it didn't happen. Nobody picked it up. And then we came out with Hidden Secrets of Money Episode 1, which has more than 4 million views. And the only thing that is about is the difference between currency and money. And none of the professionals picked up on it. And so now all of these professionals, everybody in my sector, they all understand that money must be a store of value. They know that part of the definition, that it must store value. And so now but yet they still don't use the differentiation of money versus currency. So now I'm going to read a little from my new book, The Great Gold and Silver Rush of the 21st Century. Money must be a store of value. Gold and silver have maintained their value throughout the centuries, and so they are the only currencies we can call money. Fiat currency is not, has never been, and never will be money. Treat this truth like gospel, and you'll be ahead of 99.9% of the population. From now on, every time you open your wallet to use some debt-based currency, just stop a moment and think about how incredibly stupid the whole concept is. I've been doing this for many, many years, and it has instilled in me a total contempt for currency, but an ultimate respect for money. So I hereby challenge you to please, from now on, use the proper terminology and differentiate between currency and money. Never again use the term money when you're referring to the dollar, yen, euro, or pound. It's really hard to do, I know, because I've been trying to use the proper definition since 2006, and I still make mistakes once in a while, but I always correct myself. Also, If you're reading an article or listening to someone commenting on finance or economics and they use the term money when they're actually referring to currency, please realize that the pundit may not have a full grasp of the topic. If you have the opportunity, please let them know how hard you are working to try to use the proper definitions and ask them if they would consider doing the same. If we want to achieve truth and understanding, we must choose our words wisely. As J.P. Morgan famously said, "Gold is money, everything else is credit." Once the general public is aware of this fact, the great gold and silver rush of the 21st century will be over with, and along with it, the great opportunity. And you know, because you know the difference between currency and money, you are ahead of 99.9% of the population of this planet. But please spread this word, because once this crash is done, once the monetary reset has happened, everyone is going to know the difference between fiat national debt-based currencies and real money. And now the quote of the day. But first, go to goldsilver.com/freebook and download a copy of my book. If you've been unsubscribed or unnotified, re-click the subscription button and the notification bell. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It really does help push things forward for us. We get to reach a lot more people when you do that. The algorithms of YouTube suggest our video more often when a lot of people have subscribed. And now on to the quote of the day. None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Thank you so much. That is so true. Thanks for watching.